And I recognize the Vice Chairman of our committee, Mr. Owens from Utah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, this is such an important hearing, the state of our education, one of the most important conversations we're going to have about our most important national resource, our children. It's been interesting. First of all, we can all agree, based on recent results, that our present educational system is failing our children miserably. We pay more per child than any other industrialized country except Luxembourg, and yet 60%, this is not anecdotal, 60% of our fourth graders, 70%, this is not anecdotal, of our eighth graders are failing based on the NAEP reading and math proficiency scores. We are paying more per student with a lower return on investment, 70% failure rate, and we can no longer do this. And I'll be honest with you, I would be a little bit more accepting as a stakeholder of the NAACP if they were not silent when 75% of our black boys were found in 2017 not to be able to read and write in the state of California. We have here in Baltimore zero proficiency in math for many of our students. When you have black mothers and fathers lining up to get into a choice, a voucher program, because they're living in a zip code, the kids cannot get educated. And we have the audacity to say we're experts at education. The parents are ignorant. And yet we have this remarkably failing system. The answer has been so far, let's put more money into it. You know, I've been hearing this for 40 years. We cannot disturb, we cannot mess up this system because our kids, we can't take our kids out because our institution will fail. Well, when we have this kind of failure, we need to make sure our kids are focused on in that direction. We need correction through innovation, merit through every piece of the pipeline, and the only way to do that is having these conversations and giving our parents a choice. Ms. Neal, I want to say thank you. It's good to see you again. And I thank you for the support you have for thousands upon thousands of parents across this country that are not really respected in this body here. You other stakeholders, as a parent, I know what's best for my kid, and I would think everybody in this room would feel the same way. You would do everything you could to get your child out of a failing school system. Well, we need to start looking at other people's children the way we look at ours. Ms. Neal, your testimony, you mentioned the school districts paid DEI consultants millions of dollars. Can you explain to us exactly how those DEI consultants, what they were paid for?
Sure. In 2021, we released what we called our consultant report card. We identified over 100 consultants with hundreds of contracts in dozens of districts across the country, making money hand over fist, encouraging districts to do things like privilege walks, privilege bingo, things that are not helping children but are actively hurting them. A study by the Network Contagion Research Institute showed that DEI programming, surprise, surprise, leads to more divisions in interpersonal relationships. And so when we see districts spend money on this, it actually might have been better use literally lighting on a fire, because at least then children would be warm instead of hating each other.
Dr. Cooper, critics of the market-based and accountability mechanisms such as risk sharing and performance funding often argue that they would punish the open access institutions or deter colleges from enrolling low-income students who have a lower likelihood of success. However, these critics don't seem to fit your testimony as it relates to accountability system proposed under the College Cost Reduction Act. What did you find in your analysis of the bill's accountability system? And do you believe the schools would ultimately reduce the share of low-income and disadvantaged students they enrolled as a result?
My analysis of the College Cost Reduction Act found the exact opposite of what the critics allege. We find that open access institutions, community colleges, regional public four-years would actually benefit from the College Cost Reduction Act because the CCRA rewards schools for enrolling low-income students and also serving them well, getting them through, making sure they graduate, making sure that they have good earnings after graduation and that they're keeping their prices to a reasonable level.
Okay, thank you. I have a question, Ms. Till, I'm going to have done in writing and sent to you. I'll just say this. I grew up at a time where education was our gateway, segregated community. We led our country because parents and teachers understood their responsibility to their kids, led our country to growth middle class, men matriculating from college, men committed to marriage, percentage of entrepreneurs in a segregated black community because education was put in place to help our kids, not this institution. We're going to change that. And for those who don't get it yet, let me suggest you go out and talk to some parents who really are stuck in these areas that they can't get out of. Matter of fact, I'll take it further. How about taking your kids and letting them go into these failing schools and just see how cool it is to have all this other stuff going on, and reading, writing, and understanding math is not a priority. So we're going to make this change. I'm excited about the process. I look forward to working with my colleagues across the aisle. Kids should come first. That's our top priorities. Thank you, and I'll yield back, Mr. Chair.
I thank the gentleman and recognize the passion that allows you to wear a Super Bowl ring. And who should I bet on? No, we won't.